Thank you for joining us today. When I was a teenager and I finally reached the age of 16, I was ready to get out of the house. And unlike most teenagers who got their first job in retail or working in fast food, I found myself at the Muni Opera. It was one of the best jobs I've ever had because not only did I listen to live musical theater and watch all the plays several times, I got paid for it. And as I grew up, my love for musical theater still remains today. And it brought me so much enjoyment as I helped other patrons get to their seats. And every single show, even though I would get off early, I would go find a place to sit and watch the entire show. I saw Porgy and Bess 5 times that year. I don't think we talk about this enough, but St. Louis is an arts city through and through, and it's the cultural heart of our region. We have some of the best arts institutions, from the Contemporary Art Museum to the Fabulous Fox to our neighborhood studios and venues and community organizations. The Luminary, where we stand today, is one of those neighborhood spaces. Art brings more than just pride to St. Louis. It generates economic opportunities for residents across our city. The arts generates more economic activity throughout our region than all of our sports venues combined. It creates thousands of jobs and supports hundreds of independent business owners. Shuttering theaters and closing our galleries, the COVID-19 pandemic brought economic devastation to industries across the country, especially the arts. With more than 100 arts organizations organized and wrote me a letter highlighting just how vital this funding would be to save jobs and preserve important programs, I knew we needed to act. This need was also echoed at our ARPA community town halls, where countless residents, both north and south of Del Mar, emphasized how murals, public art, and everything else would bring pride to our neighborhoods. And last week, I was honored to sign Board Bill 66 into law to give our arts economy the support and the shot in the arm that it needed. With this $10.6 million investment of ARPA funds, the third highest allocation of ARPA money to arts in the country, we can propel our arts community forward so they can continue to beautify our neighborhoods, support the growth and development of our youth, and bring that sense of belonging back to the neighborhoods where the work is most impactful. I'm so grateful for the bill's sponsor, Alderman Dan Guenther, co-sponsors my Alderwoman Shameem Clark Hubbard and Marlene Davis, and the entire Board of Aldermen who voted unanimously to support the local artists with this funding. Thank you for your support. And now I'll turn it over to my soror, Vanessa Cooksey, President and CEO of the Regional Arts Commission. Vanessa.
Greetings and salutations. I am humbled to be here, and I am filled with joy and gratitude today. I am thankful for everyone who came together to make this day possible, to the hundreds of arts organizations and artists whose passionate advocacy helped secure this funding, with a special acknowledgement to Lisa Melandri, Peter Palermo, Kofi Coleman, Sue Greenberg, and Joan Lipkin. To Mayor Jones, Alderman Guenther, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, and Alderwoman Davis, who led this legislative effort that gained support from all elected officials that co-sponsored and approved Bill number 66. To all the St. Louis residents that answered the call and voiced overwhelming support for the arts, listing them as a top priority in citizen surveys and town halls. To RAC's commissioners and team members for your partnership and support throughout this 18 months long process, with special thanks to Cheryl Walker, Mont Levy, and Nicole Belford. Today, we gather at the Luminary. This incredible organization supports artists operating at the forefront of social change, advocating for art that makes its way out of the gallery and into the city, reimagining place, politics, and policy. They're an integral part of our arts and culture ecosystem and one of the many arts organizations who will benefit from this historic allocation of ARPA funds. This is a full circle moment for our organization because RAC was born out of residents voting for the arts. I want to thank RAC founder Jill McGuire for her continued support of our work. For the last 37 years, the Regional Arts Commission has given over 7,000 grants worth more than $100 million to build a truly regional arts and culture community. St. Louisans know that St. Louis is an arts town, and when you support the arts, you support St. Louis. The arts create jobs for citizens, sales for local restaurants, shops, clients for small businesses, and fill up Airbnbs and hotels. They bring visitors to our region every year. A thriving arts sector is critical to our region's current and future economic growth. For decades, RAC has infused capital into the vibrant arts and culture scene, making St. Louis a great place to live, work, and visit. 2019 was a banner year for St. Louis tourism. Hotels were full and things were great at RAC. The Blues even won the Stanley Cup. Then things fell apart in March of 2020 due to the pandemic. RAC lost more than 60% of its singular revenue source, hotel motel sales tax. We went from a staff of 16 to a staff of 3. New grants were halted, programs were put on hold, and committed grant payments were cut drastically. More importantly, our artists and arts organizations suffered greatly. Some were successfully able to pivot to the digital space, others not so lucky. Hundreds were faced with impossible decisions and experienced like difficulty paying rent, putting food on the table, laying off staff, canceling gigs, and even closing altogether. While revenues for RAC and our arts community are a little better today than they were 2 years ago, we still have a long road ahead for our recovery. That's why ARPA funds from the City of St. Louis today is so important, and we thank the mayor, comptroller, and board of aldermen for delivering these funds to RAC this year because our need is now. The pandemic didn't just affect the economy, but it also took a serious toll on the mental well-being of our entire community. Despite their own challenges, artists and creatives in this city continue to provide a much-needed respite and healthy escape from the daily concerns of our lives. They gave us neighborhood festivals, pop-up concerts, and even thought-provoking exhibits. The arts brings us together. They inspire us. They create civic pride in our neighborhoods. They are the bridge that helps us overcome personal, political, and economic differences. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want? To be in a beautiful community where we have a sense of belonging, one that makes us happy and feeds our soul. Every single one of us needs connection and healing through the arts. We need artistic experiences with our friends, family, and colleagues that love and care for us. We also need time and space to create and express our individual and collective identity. The arts are at the heart of our humanity. It is truly a historic day, and we are proud to be a part of it. For the next 3 years, with the $10.6 million of ARPA funds you have entrusted to us, we will use our existing grant-making process to give general operating grants and program grants to artists and arts organizations located in the city. RAC plans to distribute 80% of these funds in 2023, and we promise to provide honest, frequent, and easy to understand communication to ensure that all grant recipients receive and properly use these funds. City residents have spoken, setting the stage for the arts to continue to be an ongoing priority in our incredible city. RAC will make a tangible, positive, and lasting difference that continues to move the city forward. This is only possible because of your support. Thank you, St. Louis City. Now let us get to work.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Welcome to the 9th Ward. I'm Dan Guenther, 9th Ward Alderman. But more importantly, welcome to Cherokee Street. I think it's fitting that we have this signing here on Cherokee Street. For the last 20 years, I've been a neighbor down here and kind of one of the people in the community that has seen exactly what the arts can do to transform a neighborhood and transform a business corridor in St. Louis. when we started talking about using ARPA funds at the Board of Aldermen to be able to support our artists, obviously a lot of it had to do with the over 110 organizations that reached out to us and asked that we allocate some funding because of the dire needs of COVID. But a lot of it also has to do with the fact that we've witnessed down here what arts can really do to bring neighborhoods together, to transform communities, and to reach our youth, which is really important. We have some special guests from Cherokee Street in the crowd out here that years ago started a Cherokee Street Reach, which was put together to really have just a pop-up neighborhood arts programming for our children. Cherokee Street was also 2 years ago was named as a Missouri Creative Community by the Missouri Arts Council. So we have a lot of pride in what we do out here when it comes to the arts. We have over 25 murals on this street alone. When people were being asked what they wanted our ARPA funds to go towards, a lot of people across the city, a lot of our residents across the city came forward and said that they really wanted to see more murals and more transformation of some of our buildings and some of our built environment really transformed with art. And so being down here on Cherokee Street, you can really kind of see what that has done, what arts have done for a neighborhood. I also want to thank, I have to thank everyone from the mayor's office, Nick Dunn, Noel Pfeffer, who sat many nights with me, scratching through versions of Board Bill 66. Most especially, though, thank you to Mayor Jones, who I think for the last year and a half at every event that I saw her at, and I'd take her to the side and say, how are we doing on the arts bill? So thank you for your leadership on that. We could not have done it without her support and her guidance. Also, thank you very much, Alderwoman Shameem Clark Hubbard, who's behind me, Alderwoman Marlene Davis from the 19th Ward. Were really helpful for when we brought this board bill to the Board of Aldermen. There were a lot of questions about, not only how this funding will be spent, but also making sure that it is working in the communities that need it the most. Our communities that are underserved, that really would benefit from having additional funding going to our communities, our neighborhoods, and our children. So again, I want to thank everyone that's been a part of this Regional Arts Commission. So much work put behind this. But then again, thank you all the Board of Aldermen for supporting this bill, for getting behind the arts in our communities, and for really transforming and making a statement. As was said, the third highest arts allocation of any ARPA bill across the country. So thank you very much for that, and I will turn it over to one of our neighborhood art leaders here, James McNally, the founder of the Luminary Arts Center where we're at today. So thank you, everyone.
It's such an honor to be here, be able to represent and speak to the profound work that both Mayor Jones, the Alderman, and also the Regional Arts Commission has been doing for years. As has been stated here before, the arts are a lifeblood of our neighborhoods, bringing people together and boosting our city's profile as an epicenter for art and culture. It's a thing we know experiencing here in St. Louis. You move through our city and you see art everywhere. And I think that's a credit to the artists of this place. It's a credit to those of you who support it, and it's a credit to the Regional Arts Commission. Wherever you find art in the region, you find RAC. Supporting artists, museums, galleries, arts education, public art. As the founder of the Luminary and director of Counterpublic, a public art platform, I've seen firsthand that effect. The arts create jobs, but they also create the culture that moves us forward. Coming out of the pandemic, the Luminary here, we organize exhibitions, residencies that bring artists in from all over the world. Everything just stopped in March of 2020, and we were barely hanging on like most of our peers. And seeing the work that the Regional Arts Commission under Vanessa Cooksey's leadership, they were communicating us every step of the way that they were affected, that we were all in it together, trying to make it through this moment. And we did. We came out ahead, understanding that not only are we still thriving, surviving, but the arts in our region are brighter than ever. Here at the Luminary, we are now open again. There's a bookshop, a coffee shop called Black Coffee. Monaco is an artist-run space that's artist-owned. We create a platform for artists to live here, to work here, to move here and thrive. Early on in our process, RAC was one of the initial supporters of a project called Counterpublic, which will be the largest public platform in the region and one of the largest in the nation, returning next April through July 2023. It will run from Sugarloaf Mound through Cherokee Street, through downtown West, the Brickline Greenway, and City Park, and up to the Griot, connecting our city's neighborhoods with public art and profound experiences that respond to what we've all heard, that residents want public art. They want art to surround and respond to their needs. And we've been grateful for the Regional Arts Commission support, and through the ARPA funds, know that that's going to be sustaining us and supporting us going forward. So I appreciate all of you gathered here. I appreciate Mayor Jones, Alderman Dan Guenther for inviting us here, for hosting it, this beautiful backdrop. St. Louis native Adrian Octavius Walker, who created this work that will be up for the full year in partnership with PSA, STL, and the Luminary. So we're proud to be residents here on Cherokee Street and recipients of the Regional Arts Commission's awards. Thank you all.